Perfect. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Amy. I work for Alignable. So I'm like Sue, I am the people side of Alignable. So we both work for tech companies, but we're not tech people. So I do all of the member success, trust and safety, and about 35 other hats. As all of you know, having small businesses, there's not just one hat that you wear. It is all the things all the time. So this is really how to use Alignable, use it effectively, because a lot of things that our brains are wired to do from being on social media for so long, they don't work here. And they actually will hurt you more than they'll help you. So that's kind of what this is all about today. I've got about 20, 30 minutes at the end. We can ask all the questions. So keep your questions in your mind, or you can put them in the chat and we'll get to them. So here we go. All right. So Alignable. The biggest thing people get wrong on Alignable is not using our tools and features. You can't just turn it on, sit back, and expect the magic to happen. You got to work the relationships. Don't be that guy who's just like, yep, I joined, wait for the leads to come in. If it worked that easy, we would all be super rich, right? Fortunately, it doesn't. So we're a tool that's going to help you on your networking journey, and we provide so many things to help you get there, but you have to use them. So we're going to start out with your profile. This is the biggest piece. If you don't have a good profile, people aren't going to know who you are. They're not going to want to reach out to you. You're not going to get noticed. You're not going to get seen. Even as an introvert, I heard somebody say that. I am an extroverted introvert, so it seems like I'm outgoing, but not really. Every time I have to go talk to somebody in person, I get this little bubble down here and I'm like, "Oh, that's okay though. Let your profile talk for you first." So I want you to look at this profile. Does this look like someone that you want to handle your money? They don't have any images on their profile. They don't have a banner, logo, headshot. There's a really generic company name, financial services. What's that? What kind? I can't look you up or vet that your company's real. Who do you work for? Are you real? This is about as lackluster at best. It doesn't look like a whole lot of thought was really put into this profile. They did not fill out how we got started, their ideal customer, their ideal partner. How could it be better? Now let's look at this profile. This is financial services. They have the entire profile filled out. They've got images of themselves. They got all of the about us. You know who they are. You can go find them. If you really wanted to go see if they were licensed, you can look it up. They've got recommendations. They show you their products. They've got all of these things. So who looks more like someone that you would want to handle your money and give personal information to? Financial services or this guy, right? The first guy kind of looks fake. If somebody reached out to me like that, I probably wouldn't want to have a conversation with them. But if he reaches out to me, I'm gonna be like, sure, let's have a conversation. You seem to know what you're doing. So if you want to vet a financial service provider, you're going to be able to find this guy. You're not going to be able to find the other one. It's kind of one of those things the same for you, right? Is your profile filled out or is it pretty blank like first person? If it's blank like the first person, you're already a step behind. They're going to go for the person who's got their profile filled out because then they can get a little bit of idea of what you do, who you are. At the end of the day, we want to do business and talk to people, not businesses, right? We want to talk to the person. So who are you? Here's another one. Who would you rather do business with here? This guy's got his information and business name with no image, or Keith Jones. Use your name. No one wants to do business with information or hello or agent. They want to do business with you. So generic names never get any traction on Alignable. They also get flagged pretty often as fake. or fraudulent accounts. And it makes you a lot harder to find, actually. So if somebody tries to search for you, Sue, they're looking for Sue Brook. Sue Brook's not in here, right? If she's information, Sue's not going to show up. Also, if you need help from Alignable Support and you're like, hi, my name's Amy, here's my information, but you've entered yourself in as information alignable, we're never going to be able to find you. So make sure you're using your name. And if you're not comfortable using your name, you need to ask yourself, why am I here? If I don't want people to know my name, how are you going to have a conversation with them? A name is a name. That's pretty easy. It's not a big thing. People can't steal just your name because very likely there's someone else in the world that has your name. My cousin married another person named Amy. So now there's two Amy Davalas and we're first cousins. So it happens all the time, right? This one, a generic business name, also doesn't do well. So Vernon is a broker and he's in the real estate industry. But what kind of broker is he? Does he deal in the legal aspect? Does he deal in mortgages? This doesn't really tell me anything. Also, if I want to do business with Vernon, I want to make sure he's real, right? How do I look him up to verify if I don't know anything about him? He also didn't give me the name of the brokerage firm, so I can't even verify if he's going to fulfill my needs. If I'm looking for someone in the legal aspect and he only does mortgages, he's not the person I want to talk to. On the other hand, Rasmus has listed his brokerage name on his profile so we can easily vet the company. We can verify him. We can look at reviews. If he doesn't have very many on Alignable, we can look him up online, right? And I can understand what he focuses on to ensure that all my needs are met while contacting him. And maybe I'm not looking for someone to in the real estate market, but I'm looking for someone because my friend needs them. So I don't want to refer someone if I don't know who they are. So generally, some other big tips on the profile. If you're an industry that requires a license, such as insurance or real estate, why don't you put that in your account? It helps members identify you as an expert. You're licensed and willing to show it. Others know that you're up to date with certifications, safety, whatever else. If you add too many extra things to your personal name, such as Amy Davala, expert in customer service, it makes you nearly impossible to find for other members. Not to mention, again, we go back to being able to be found for support. If you need help, it's going to make it harder to find. The longer your company name is, it'll get cut off. So when you join these meetings, you're only going to see a snippet. When you're getting suggested to someone, they're only going to see a snippet. It's going, and by too long, I'm talking about adding 1,000 things to it. So keep it clean, only use your actual business name. Don't add you're a contest winner or you're running a promotion. Don't add emojis. This makes it hard for people to find. But it also, your business name will be cut off in many areas of the platform. So you want to make sure that you use your actual business name and not add a bunch of extra fluff to it so people know who you are and they're able to find you. You also want to use high quality images in your profile. No one wants to see a blurry image. It hurts your reputation, and it also really does make people question if you're real. Blurry images happen often if somebody else steals an image off the internet and attempts to use it elsewhere. So make sure that you're using a high quality image so things match and it looks more professional. We are a professional networking platform, by the way. So take a second and picture yourself scanning a profile for someone you may be interested in. How much of their about us or how we got started are you willing to read? So think about that. Likely it's one or two short paragraphs. Anything longer and you're going to lose interest and probably wander away. So don't make your profile longer than what you yourself are willing to read. You want to give people just enough information to understand who you are and what you do, but you also want to give them a reason to get to know you and reach out to you. If you're not meeting the right people and our suggestions aren't hitting the mark for you, update your tags. When you're in your profile, each section, there's those little tags that you add at the bottom, right? You say, this is who I want to meet, and you add your tags. These tags are how we know at Alignable who you want to meet. That's our algorithm, so to say. So give it about 2 to 3 weeks. If the suggestions aren't getting any better, do it again and really play around with these until you're meeting the right people. Sometimes it's just a little keyword shift or change, and that's what helps. And duplicate accounts happen. Unfortunately, you might accidentally create one, or you left an old business and you started a new one, but you never closed your old account. So if somebody searches for you, they're coming up with a bunch of different ones. And if they're connecting with you on an account you don't monitor, it can hurt your reputation. So deactivate those old accounts. If you don't have access to it anymore, that's okay. That's what we're here for. Ask the bot. It's going to get you where you need to go to get rid of it, or we can merge them and bring all those old contacts into your new account. Another thing that I'm going to say about your profile and the images that I left off of here is don't use an image that you don't have the rights to use. So a big one is copyright infringement. Just because it's online doesn't mean it's not copyrighted. So if you don't have access to use it, or you haven't pulled it off of a site that has free use, such as like Pexels or free images, don't use it. Copyright DCMA laws, they will come after you and you can get fined. Even though it's on the Alignable platform, we're not responsible for the content, it's you. So you could get fines for images that you don't have the licenses to use. So only use the images that you took or you have access to that you got for free offline from a reputable online source. All right. So now let's move a little bit more into that messaging and connections piece. This is really where you've gotten to meet the person. So now you're getting to know them in these messaging and connections, things like that. So this is the first message I got from someone trying to connect with me. What are your thoughts? Does it feel like they're trying to sell, or are they trying to get to know me? Feels like they're trying to sell to me immediately, right? That's not what we're here for. This next one isn't awful, but it's not great. You're introducing yourself to me and you only say hi. Why should I click that accept button? Why should I invest the time in getting to know you? Because you haven't told me why you want to get to know me. Never, never, never try to get the person on the phone or in a video call when you first reach out. You're still strangers, and this tactic really does not work here. So I know it's a big thing on social media. Believe it or not, people on Alignable don't like this approach. So you want to get to know the person a bit, who they are, what they do, what are their goals, maybe some of their hobbies, then and find some common ground to connect on. Then a one-on-one call is a great idea because it gives you something to talk about outside of a sales call or a discovery call. If you're trying to get on the phone with someone immediately, you have no idea who they are. You're probably going to try and pitch your services, right? So don't do this. You're not going to get very good results. This is not LinkedIn. And let's be honest, no one wants to get this type of a message. If you do this, you're going to fail every time, and you're going to see yourself getting blocked more and more and more from people that you've connected with. They will disconnect from you, they'll ignore you, and you'll start to get a bad reputation on Alignable. All right. So when sending connection requests, tell the other member why you want to connect with them. If you've met before or you've interacted with them, say so. You can see these two examples of people who reach out to me after an in-person event and a webinar and that I was a guest on. This tells me how they found me, but it also helps me to affirm that I'm being noticed. Things I'm doing on Alignable are working. So this last one, you can see the person took time to look at my profile before reaching out. This shows some genuine interest. Be interested in someone, and you'll definitely see that interest in return. You do not have to accept every request that comes through. For example, I received this connection request. which I denied. I don't want to be connected with someone who's only going to try to sell to me. Why would I want to connect with somebody immediately who doesn't even say hi? They don't introduce themselves. They literally go into their sales pitch without even being connected. For me, that's a no. And I'm not the only one on Alignable. That's almost everyone. You're going to see that happen. If you don't accept their request, they're not going to get a notification that says you denied it. It's just going to show up as pending. So don't worry about denying requests. It's okay. If this is somebody you really do want to connect with, correct them. Just say, hey, I'm happy to accept your connection request, but before we start talking about our products and services, who are you? Get to know them. It's okay. It's okay to say, hey, that's not what we're here for. If you want to develop a relationship, I'm happy to talk to you, but I'm not going to buy your stuff until I know you, if I'm going to buy it at all. So tons of people are going to send you a connection request, really using the generic kind of prefabricated message, or maybe no message at all, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you need to send a canned response back or not to respond at all. You'll know better than to do this. And we all know just because others do something doesn't mean it makes it right. So if you don't have the time to write out a 30-second message to a new connection, you probably shouldn't be connecting to them anyway. They're not that important to you. I always ask about the person, their industry, their role, how they got into a hobby on their profile, such as yoga. I want to learn more about the person, not the business, when we first meet. Make sure you always respond to connection requests if you're accepting them. You'll see pretty quickly how responsive the person is, or if they're not responsive at all. That way, if someone asks you for an introduction to that person, you can confidently say, that person's not super responsive. I really don't know them. Or I haven't gotten to know them, but I do know a person that follows that same industry. Would you still like an introduction to them instead? So, Alignable is really about building a relationship. That's what we're here for. You meet people on Alignable or elsewhere, and you get to know them on Alignable. Once you get to know, you then can start to like, trust, and move through that whole funnel. It's about building relationships, and you can't do that if you don't take the time to talk to people. So it's a long game, but it does pay off in high dividends in the long run. So some other tips here. Again, this is for messaging and connections. We're not social media. We're not LinkedIn. We're not Facebook. We're all about building relationships and networking. So this is not the place to spam or to send out your sales pitch, unless you're in the elevator pitch group, and that's what that group is for. Use messaging features to start to get to know other people on Alignable prior to moving it off that platform. Be sure this is someone you want to have your contact information, because once they have it, you can't take it back. It's okay to tell someone that you prefer to talk on Alignable a bit before scheduling a call. If you don't respond to a message or ask questions, you're not going to get to know anyone. Copying and pasting messages is essentially, let me try this again. Copying and pasting a message from one person to the next is essentially spam. If it's something you want your entire network to know, post it to your network, and we'll get into that in a second. Don't spam. No sales pitches, no promotion. Even if you're offering something for free, you're still promoting that free thing. So remember, this is about relationships, not copying and pasting over and over again. And being interested is way better than being interesting. If you're interested in getting to know someone, they automatically like you more, and you're going to find relationships forming a lot more easily. It's easy to get people to talk about themselves. Sue, I think you might have been the one to tell me about this, and I read the study. There is a full flight. Half the people were told that you need to talk to the person sitting beside you. And anytime that they try to redirect the conversation to you, answer the question and then go back to asking them about themselves. Get them to talk about themselves. And the people that were supposed to talk about themselves had no idea what was going on. So through the entire flight, there's lots of conversations going on. And at the end of the flight, as everyone's deplaning, How was your flight? Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I sat next to the most interesting person. Only half of them could tell you the name of that person. It was the people who were the most interesting were the people asking questions and getting the person to talk. It wasn't about the person answering them. So you always want to make sure that you're being interested in the person. This is really going to help build your relationships. I'm not saying ignore it and redirect all the time if they ask you a question, but make sure you're interested. Ask questions, keep that conversation moving. So, content, posting and commenting in groups. All right. So, these posts were posted into their community groups. You can read them. How do they tie back to business? They really don't. Are they creating any engagement? Nope. They don't have one like, they don't have one comment. There's nothing. They were just posted into the void and no one's engaging with them. So these are social media posts. These are not alignable posts. They are not going to do well here. And people will actually, if you continue to do it, they're going to start reporting you for spam. So these are advertisements or promotions, and they're really nothing else outside of that. This is not appropriate for groups or communities on Alignable. This is something that belongs in the promotion section of your products and services of your profile. Or you could even advertise this as a sponsorship. And if you really wanted to show all of your connections in your current network, you can post it to your network because they've already accepted you as a connection. The purpose of posting and commenting on Alignable is to drum up engagement and start conversations. You want to get noticed as a subject matter expert or a caring community neighbor, someone who's able to help. Or asking questions because you're unsure. If you have a question about something, you're probably not the only person in that group of 1,000 plus that has that same question. You're just the one that has asked it. So you should offer advice, ask and answer questions, share tips and tricks, share tools. This is not a place to post buy my stuff, no matter how it's worded. We have a lot of people complain that, hey, I wasn't promoting. I was just saying that people should take advantage of my free trial. Well, you're still promoting your free trial. You're still pulling people and trying to get them. A trial is usually a way to get people to buy, right? So think about who your audience is. Is it something that you are promoting, or are you genuinely trying to start a conversation to get help or to help others? Posting nothing but a link is going to get blocked in the community groups. You need to tell people why you're posting the link, what's there, but why couldn't you just recap whatever's in that link in your post? This next one starts off really well, but then it offers a free strategy session, which is still promoting a service. Free or not, this is still a company promotion. And finally, we see someone promoting an event that is very local to Irving, Texas, but it was posted in a group that's open to everyone in the US and Canada. So that's not the right audience, right? The best place to post something that is specific to a community is in your community. It's not to a larger group. So make sure you're looking at the rules for your group. If you're in the Ask Small Business Owners Anything group, that's about asking questions about being a business owner or tips or tricks for something that you're learning. If you're in the Alignable University group, that is only to become a master and ask questions about Alignable or share a tip or trick you learned. That's not about posting something about marketing. So make sure you look at the groups that you're in and you're only posting content that's relevant to that group. If you have a bunch of content that is great for marketing or you have tons of marketing questions, join a marketing group. We have thousands of groups on Alignable, so there is an audience for every question you have or every topic you want to talk about. So just make sure that you're posting them in the right place. And we're kind of going to lead into that here. So what to post where? I know it seems pretty confusing because on social media, you just post it and it's fine. Here, we're a little bit more guided. So your community is anything super local, maybe government and business local news that impacts your community. It's very local to a community, such as construction project that's closing down Main Street for 3 months. topic or networking groups. Ask questions and share thoughts and advice and struggles relevant to that group. For example, in social media support, ask questions about what social media platform has the best paid ads. You're not going to ask that in a construction group. Industry group. So all of you are in an industry group. You're automatically put into an industry group based on whatever your industry is when you signed up, or if you've had to change it through the years. So that group, a lot of you might be thinking, why did you put me in a group with a bunch of my competitors? We didn't. We put you in a group with a bunch of your peers. These are all people who are in the same industry as you. So they've had the same struggles. They've had the same issues trying to find suppliers and point of sale systems and all of those things. So these are people who've had the same issues and they're going through the same struggles. And a lot of times they're not going to be your direct competitors. If someone's in Canada and you're in the US, you're not competing. If you're in New York and they're in California, you're not competing. So think about it in those terms as well. So an industry group is peer-to-peer discussions, relevant news affecting your industry. And this is also a great place to ask peers for advice about business growing pains, best point of sales, best practices, anything that they might be able to help you with. If you're having an issue, chances are someone in that group has already figured out a way to overcome it. And your network posts. These are people you're already connected with. So you can share more freely here. This is way less restrictive. The people you already know, but you need to make sure that you link it back to business networking and add value to it. Don't just post a motivational Monday pitch without saying why, right? Say, I had a really hard time getting out of bed this morning. I love my job, but don't want to work today. This got me through. Something like that. Tie it back to business. Don't just be like, here's an interesting quote. Why? Why are you doing that? Don't just put noise in the void. Make it meaningful. All right. So other tricks and tips and tricks for posting. We're not social media again. We're all about building those relationships and networking. We're not the place to spam. So be sure to read your group rules and guidelines before you post to make sure that your posts are not moderated. Rules can be found in every group on that left-hand side of the screen. Promotional post is designed to advertise or promote a product, service, event, or even your brand. These posts are aiming to generate interest, drive engagement off Alignable, or ultimately lead to an action such as purchasing, signing up, attending. They're often highlighting specific features, benefits, or unique selling points. Eye-catching visuals, clear calls to action. Showcasing your brand's offering reviews or offering free services is still promotion. Alignable only allows the sharing of on-platform events. So you can share groups, an on-platform event like this event into groups and communities. So any Alignable event, whether in person or virtual, are the only events allowed to be shared on Alignable. So if you have an Eventbrite link, that's not going to be allowed. If you have a Facebook link, that's not going to be allowed. So make sure that you're only sharing Alignable links because we want to keep people on Alignable. Be cognizant of the group you're posting in. Who are you trying to reach? What's your goal? These are all the things to consider when you're posting into a group or community on Alignable. If starting a discussion about a new business zoning law that's going to affect small businesses in your area, community. It's not a broader group such as the brick and mortar businesses or international groups. So if you're posting a new tool that you found that aids in social media marketing, it's a good place to share in social media marketing and maybe so all about social media, but not in the Alignable University group. And posting the same post in multiple groups really isn't a great idea because the audience is different. Each group has different audiences, and each post should reflect each different audience. So copying and pasting posts is gonna get blocked. You can do it once, and it's gonna get blocked after that. So if you're gonna go from maybe the contractors group to the construction and trades group, that's going to be a similar audience, so that's okay. But if you're going to go from the construction group to the legal group, probably not the same. Not the same audience for sure. And is it still relevant, right? So you want to make sure you're updating your posts and you have a specific purpose and goal for each one of your posts that you make. All right. And we already talked about making sure that you have the rights to use an image so you're not dinged by the copyright laws. You might get away with it for 10 years and then somebody runs a search and your image comes up and they're going to find you. So you cannot use also any type of branded images, promotional materials such as flyers or anything that contains your contact information on Alignable as an image. Those are also moderated. So if you're attaching a sales flyer to a beautiful post, it's going to get blocked. Believe it or not, posts on Alignable do slightly better and get slightly more engagement if they do not have an image. I know it's shocking because it's everything counterintuitive to what we've always learned, but all of our data on Alignable shows you get a little bit better engagement if you don't have an image. So if you don't have an appropriate image, you don't need to go find one, just post it. Saves you a lot of time. And think about why you're posting a link. Why are you attempting to drive people away from Alignable? What is that? What is in that link that you can't include in your post? Can you not include it because you know you're going to get moderated? Well, so is your link. So if it's a blog telling me how to increase my SEO traffic, great. Include some cliff notes in the post. Don't make me go to another website to read it. This is where you can maybe and you can position yourself as a subject matter expert. GPT, it's free. Do the OpenAI. Take that blog post, pop it in there and say, give me a 500-word summary of this and post it. Easy peasy. You don't have to take a ton of time to get that great blog post in the essence of it. And if people start responding to it, then you can start telling them, "Oh, I've written like a larger blog. You can go to my profile and get the link to it." That's the place to do those things. All right. Hashtags. They don't mean anything on Alignable. We don't categorize them, we don't promote them, and they don't help your SEO here. They'll just add noise to your post and make it appear like you copied it from another social media post. So just don't use them. Also, going to save you a lot more time in your posting if you're not thinking about what hashtags you have to use. So, those are big things about posting. And the other thing that I'm going to say about posting is if you post something, go back and look at it and see if anybody has engaged with it. Respond to the people who've commented on it. Look at those things. You're going to be able to see if any of the people that are responding to it or even an ideal customer or ideal referral partner of yours will give you all that information. So just go look. The last thing we're going to talk about is events. So another thing many members get wrong is not utilizing some of these tools and features. Alignable is a tool to help you on that networking journey, and we provide so many things to help. So these events are a really big one. So if you haven't been on Sue's I'm on Alignable Now What, you should go. It's going to help you immensely. And I'm not just saying that because Sue's here. It is a great starting point. If you don't quite know what to do and how to do it, go to that or at least watch the recording. It's going to give you tons of information. All right. So, Smart Connect events. Some of these, I hope all of you have been there. If you haven't, try one. They're a lot of fun. I have one tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet like 6 to 8 people. However, you should come ready to participate. So we're going to be breaking off into one-on-one breakout networking sessions. You have to have your camera on and your microphone on so you can have a face-to-face conversation. And that doesn't work if one of those things is off. And if you can't be present without distractions, just come to another event. Nobody wants to be on an event and you're trying to have a one-on-one conversation with somebody and they're doing this. It's not fun. You don't feel important. Like, why am I even here, right? So if you're not able to be present, it's okay. Come to another event. There's one just about every hour, even on the weekends. Also, don't take a Smart Connect while driving. Please, it's dangerous. If you're focusing on having a conversation here and the road is here, one of those two things is not going to get the attention it needs. So it's okay. Either pull over or come to another event. Focus on building a genuine connection. Your ideal referral partner may be in an industry you've never considered. So talk about your business and yourself, if those are the questions, not what you're selling. Your business, your goal on that meeting is to meet someone, to meet that new business owner and connect with them. So a smart connect gets you over that first hurdle of meet. You meet and then you get to know, but you can't get to know unless you meet them, right? So that's what these smart connects are for. Is you meet, you get to know a little bit about them and decide, is this someone I want to invest a little more time in? 7 minutes is not a whole lot of time, and you'll find that if you've ever been to an event. So be sure to watch the clock and only take your share of the time. Let the other person speak as well, because it's not a monologue. It's not a conversation if it's one-sided, right? And don't be a robot. Be yourself. You're at the first stage of developing a relationship. Once you have this short intro and interaction, you want to decide if you want to get to know each other a little more and send a connection request. Start moving into that getting to know each other. Be authentic. It's going to feel hard not to jump into your elevator pitch because that's what we've all been taught since the invention of social media. Networking events also, when you do these round robin networking events, it's like, hi, my name is Amy. This is what I do. And this is what I sell. Do you need it? Right? That's not what we're doing here. So it's going to feel hard not to do that. You need to leave it behind. Talk about you, Carlene, you, Donna, you, and all of you. Talk about you. So talk about you, talk about your business, not about what you do, not about how you're going to help the person across the screen. Talk about you. Be genuine. Every Smart Connect host is going to provide you some discussion topics for your breakout sessions. That's really going to help get to know someone. It's going to be tailored to a specific topic depending on the event you're in, or help you get some new perspectives. If you stay on topic, you're not going to accidentally fall into pitching your products. Be genuinely interested in what the other person is saying. I said earlier, be genuinely interested. It helps. So here, do it again. Be interested in what the other person's saying. Take some notes, look at them as they speak, ask follow-up questions, listen to learn about the person, not to respond. So listen to learn, not to respond. And a few other tips here before we wrap it up is no one likes extra background noise, and entering a meeting off mute is really distracting for everyone, especially if you just arrive late. So just mute that when you enter, unless you're in breakout rooms and it's your turn to speak. I'm lucky right now because my little dog decided that she was going to take a nap and stop barking. So we are good. So this also should go without saying, but don't interrupt the meeting. If you've got something important to say, add it in the chat or raise your virtual hand. If it doesn't benefit at least half of the members, there's no need to say it in the meeting. Ask as a follow-up. You keep hearing this, but no promotion. We are not here to sell. We're here to build a relationship. And the chat and webinar Smart Connect is only there for Q&A or interactions, not to add your sales pitch, not to add your contact information. You really don't need it 90% of the time. And in most Smart Connects, you're moving in and out so fast, no one's going to look at the chat anyway. And the number one reason people are reported during events is by sharing their contact information and pressuring others to share theirs in return. And this is in part to bypass getting to know one another on Alignable. The majority of members do not want to give out their personal information unless they get to know you. They're really off-put by others attempting to get direct information. Keep it in the platform, use a connection request. And as I said earlier, once you give out that information, you can't get it back. And you don't know if somebody's going to spam you. You don't know if they're going to share it. So be picky on who you give your phone number to. And finally, the last tip, is the promotion's not really always limited to what you say. Don't add a busy sales flyer to your background or super branded images and video all behind you. Use a simple background in Smart Connects and webinars. I personally like to use photos. I've taken this picture on a hike in Colorado here. Use a generated Google background or use the option to blur your background. Those who use super busy backgrounds tend to be reported at a higher rate and have less engagement. So if you have a bunch of things flashing and going all over the place, don't do that. Nobody likes that. It's super distracting. They want to see you and not focus over here, right? So you wouldn't go into an in-person event with a big banner over your head or a brand tattoo on your face. So don't do it virtually either. It sounds really funny, but it's a thing. All right. I went through a ton of stuff. Now it's time for questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay, I'm going to ask the questions that are in the chat. This particular question kind of goes with some of the other questions. Newbie here, how was Alignable started? What is its purpose? It seems we're not able to promote what we do directly. You say it's not social media, but really it seems to be very social media platform to me. I love this question. I want to see what you say, Amy, and happy to jump in after. Go for it.
I think this is a good collaboration between me and Sue. So Alignable has been around for, I think, as a platform for 12 years, Sue, something like that.
I think it's been longer than that, to be honest with you, but yeah, go ahead.
So there has been multiple iterations, and we've kind of come a long way. So we're technically not social media. We're technically a software as a service company. Our goal is to help small business owners meet each other, get help from one another, and promote each other and refer each other to other people. For example, if you come to me and you're an accountant, I don't need an accountant. My husband he went to school to be a CPA. He doesn't practice, but that doesn't mean he can't do my taxes and his taxes, right? But he only does ours. So still getting to know me and me getting to know you, I know people who need accountants. Just because you can't sell to me doesn't mean I can't help you if I get to know you in you seem like you know what you're doing. You're nice. I like you. And it takes a lot for me not to like you, to be honest. But are you licensed in areas that I know people? I refer people all the time. If I don't need your service, it doesn't mean I won't need it in the future. Or I don't know people, I definitely know somebody who does. So that's the biggest piece. Also, you don't promote your services directly, but by getting to know people, I've been asked to be on podcasts. And this is for my watch company. I do have a small business, by the way. I'm not just an Alignable employee. I've been asked to be on podcasts, on game shows. I've gotten articles written about me. I've helped people do events and things like that, which all helps my brand, right? It gets me in front of audiences that I don't have access to otherwise. So I think that's a big, big piece of Alignable is it's who you know and who they know. It's that secondary piece that we always forget about is getting in front of who they know and being that go-to person for whatever it is that you do. Sue, I will turn to you.
No, I love everything you said. Yeah, that's the thing about Alignable, and I teach this stuff all the time. By the way, I posted I'm on Alignable now. What you guys can, if you haven't been there, definitely go watch it. But Alignable was created for two reasons. The first reason, and our co-founders are amazing, by the way, and they have huge, huge hearts for small business. That's why I was attracted to Alignable. I've been a member on Alignable for like for a long, long time. So anyway, they created it because they knew that business owners learn how to run their businesses by talking and working with and networking with other business owners, right? So that's why they created a platform of just business owners so that we can all help each other and we can get the questions we need. That's why you want to ask a lot of questions. Like Amy said, ask a question because you're not the only one. There's probably 1,000 other people that have the same question. And the other one is because they knew that people do business with people that they know, like, and that know, like, and trust them. So the people that know, like, and trust you are the ones that are going to tell everybody about you so that you can get more customers. So it's not a place to try to sell everybody everything like on social media. This is a place to build a relationship and help each other. It's like, I'm going to be your raving fan and tell everybody about you and send you customers, and you're going to do the same for me as long as we build that relationship. And that kind of goes with the other question that was in here about how we're different from LinkedIn. That's how we're different. I don't think there's anything else to say. LinkedIn's a spam box, in my opinion. I used to own a tutoring business, and people say, "Oh, I can help you with your tutoring business." Yeah, that was like 30 years ago. So that is, yeah. So hopefully that helps that. And then here's a good one for you. Let's see. Is there, oh, an online training? Oh, by the way, it says, is there an online training to explain how to join different groups so that I can post in each group differently? Today, right after this, actually, in an hour, the head of our groups and two really good group leaders are being interviewed on my member success series in a little while. I posted the link in there. Just go to, actually, yeah, I posted the link to the event. You should come to that. So that'll help you answer that question. And
And I can, on the follow-up email, I can add Jason Integrity's webinar that he did, that short webinar, the like how to post, what to post, the don't be a goofball, and how to get the best engagement and in the different groups. So I can also add that in there.
yes, and the other question that's in here is, okay. Oh, I own a local nonprofit coffee shop. Is there a place for me on Alignable to connect and grow my business? It seems to me this is a broader platform that's outside the scope of my local community, but that's really not true. So go ahead, Amy.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a place for you.
Uh-huh.
We have communities on Alignable. We have very local places. So yes, that is for you. But we also have a nonprofits group, so you can get possibly information about grants or how to best advertise. We have brick and mortar businesses, restaurants, and I think it's restaurant, bars, and coffee shops actually, that you can get more information about like what's working for them, what's not working for them. So those are great things for you to do as resources, but local you
Is it just
connect
her or me that
No,
was?
she's kind of jamming up.
in your
Yeah,
there's in Colorado.
Amy, you're cutting out a lot. You just cut out for
Yeah,
the
I just
whole thing.
Went into the
oh,
matrix.
I did. And as soon as you guys said that, I got the your internet connection is unstable.
Oh no. So
Uh,
do you want to do a summary of what you just said?
yes, I'll turn off my video just in case that'll help because sometimes it eats up bandwidth. All right, so we have a ton of different groups. We have a brick and mortar coffee shop group that can help you. Also, a nonprofit groups that can help you with learning some best practices, maybe what's working for them in both of those. We also have your community group. And even if we suggest to you somebody in California and you're in Arizona, that person in California might have lived in Arizona and has a ton of connections in Arizona. That's why we do suggest to people, or they're fitting an ideal customer or a referral partner of yours. So they might know a ton of grant writers. They might know a bunch of things like that. So look at people's profiles and really take advantage of the Alignable 360 tool who tells you who that person knows. If they know a bunch of people in your area, that's a great connection to have. So
That's
it's, yes, we're national and international between US and Canada, but we have a lot of very local companies here.
that's true. And definitely join your local alliance. That's you can search to see if there's an alliance that hosts in-person meetings near you if you guys haven't done that. I just did one last night. So
I did too, and I do want another one tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, another one is talk about our business, but not what our business does. How to do that. Were you asking
I
geez.
know what you mean.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So it's when I say like talk about who you are and what do you do, not selling. So there's a little bit of a difference. It's I'm gonna talk to you in the way of my watch company, right? Versus Alignable. So my name is Amy. I make custom handmade watches in Boulder and in Denver. We're trying to keep a old art of enameling and guilloche, rose engine turning alive. I am not saying my name is Amy. I make watches that you need to look at and buy, right? So I'm telling you kind of why I do what I do, why I got into it. What is my, if any of you are familiar with Simon Sinek, what is your why? Why do you do what you do in business? Not, if you're I'm going to say a consultant, a business coach. I am a business coach because I love helping small businesses succeed. There's so many people out there that want to be a small business owner, but they don't have any experience. I am not saying I can help you grow your business by 200% and get all these new customers and da da da. Can you, does that make sense? Is there,
Yes.
okay.
I'll piggyback on you a little bit. So I know a lot I don't know if this is a part of the question that you're asking too. It's like we're telling you not to self promote, not to promote your business, blah blah blah. But the bottom line is this: build a relationship and, like Amy was saying, be interested in other people. And if they say, I want to know about what you do, you can talk about it. It's okay. It's just what we are saying is just don't lead with that, with all of that stuff about you. You don't have to. And it's all about building those relationships. So I think, does that help? Asked that question? Um, also, we have a few more minutes. Anybody have a question we didn't answer? You want to ask Amy and take advantage of this? You can probably come back on screen, Amy. I think it just happened that one little time.
Okay.
Anyone else have a question for
And I
Amy?
will send out an email with a lot of um, tips and resources. So
Good,
look for that.
okay.
That will happen.
Excellent. All right, Jerry, go ahead.
I just want to say this was really helpful because I've heard of Alignable and I signed up and I think someone asked about this was one of the questions too. We set up our profiles before actually doing anything first. Was that wrong? Like was it can you maybe speak to that? Because I just signed up and I did the profile and then that was it. And I just started accepting whatever suggestions.
Yes. So we have you come in and set up your profile because one, the profile, if we don't know who you are, we can't help you figure out who you want to meet, right? We can't match you with anyone. But also, if you don't fill out your profile initially, you might forget to do it later. And if you're joining all these groups and then you're this empty profile financial services person, everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's fake. We do a lot of vetting. Don't get me wrong. Like we do a lot of vetting on the back end, but fake accounts still happen occasionally. So do be very careful, especially like financial services. Everybody knows there's that some people are just terrible. But yes, we do have you fill out all of your profile information first. You can go back and edit any of it at any time.
Yep.
So you can change things, you can do things. I used to have a wine business, and after the pandemic, it kind of like started to peter out a little bit. So we kind of shifted. Now we make watches. So you can change anything on your profile at any time, including your name. So make those adjustments, fix it, do this. Um, that's perfectly fine. In groups, joining groups is fantastic. We've talked about it a lot. That's the room to meet people in. The big thing about groups, though, don't join so many groups that you can't keep up with them.
Exactly.
Being a fly on the wall and just a number in that little population in the side is not going to help you at all. Be in a group if you want to learn. Be in a group if you can teach. Don't be in a group just to like be a voyeur, I guess. If you're not going to keep up with the group,
Yeah,
that's okay.
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
okay. I'm only a member, honestly, I think I'm a member of like 5 groups.
Yeah. I have
And
to
you,
get rid of them all the time.
and well, maybe a few more, but like once if you stop something stops being helpful for you, or you're kind of, I've learned everything. I don't need to be here anymore. Leave. Go
Yeah.
join another one. You can do that at any time. It's great.
Great. And then the last thing I just wanted to say, as we're still talking about all this stuff about the profile, your profile is where you promote your business. That's where you put your products and services and any promotions that you're having. If you are hosting an event, add it as a promotion on your profile. And Alignable, depending on which membership level you're on, will show it to the people who need to see it, like the people in your network and the people in your communities. So that's where you promote your business. If people want to know about you, do all your stuff should be on your profile, right, Amy? That's what I would
Yep.
say. Okay. Cool. And I know we're at time, everyone. I want to thank Amy so much. You were amazing. Did you guys get something out of it today? Yeah? Okay, you're going to get a feedback form. Would love to know how we can make this event better. And I think, Amy, you said you're going to send an announcement with some information maybe after this?
I will, and I will include that. How do we define the ideal partner? Because Sue, you do an entire webinar about this.
Yeah, so exactly. So cool. Awesome. Well, thanks you guys all for being here. And Amy, thank you. That was so good. And I love it. I always learn something. I even took notes. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
It's
Hi,
awesome.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.